A society that invests in creating unconsciousness, which invests in keeping people asleep.
Graham Hancock is set to unleash something truly monumental, the real-world map that he claims powerful forces tried to bury.
In the Ice Age that archaeologists can't swallow. It's a subject that I've kept on coming up against over a number of years. I think the best evidence for it is ancient maps.
This map isn't a curiosity. It's a bombshell suggesting an advanced civilization existed during the last Ice Age with surveying and charting skills that baffle modern experts. For too long, the idea of an incredibly sophisticated lost precursor civilization has been confined to the shadows. But with this map, we are forced to confront a radical possibility. Our ancestors were far from primitive. The Ice Age cartographers. The world as we understand it has a widely accepted timeline for discovery and exploration. We teach our children about Christopher Columbus and Ferdinand Magellan, pioneering figures who charted the globe with primitive tools and unwavering courage. But what if this narrative, this entire foundation of geographical understanding, is fundamentally flawed? What if centuries before these celebrated explorers set sail, a highly advanced civilization had already mapped our planet with astonishing precision, including land masses now submerged beneath thousands of feet of ocean? This isn't a tale of science fiction, you see, but the core of a controversy that has pitted maverick investigator Graham Hancock against the academic establishment for decades. Now, Hancock claims they tried to silence him about this real-world map, but he is revealing it, and the implications are absolutely earth-shattering. Many people are crazy about the idea of lost civilizations, but Hancock brings forth compelling, concrete evidence. The central piece of this puzzle is a collection of ancient maps, most notably the Piri Reis map, compiled in 1513, and the Orontius Phineus map from 1531. These aren't just quaint decorative drawings, they display startling accuracy for their time, depicting coastlines and land formations that, to put it mildly, should have been utterly unknown to anyone in the 15th or 16th centuries. Consider the Piri Reis map, for instance. This Turkish admiral's chart includes a detailed coastline of Antarctica, specifically Queen Maud Land. The astonishing part? This section of Antarctica is depicted free of ice, with rivers flowing inland. Geologists confirm that Queen Maud Land has indeed been ice-free in the distant past, but not for at least 12,000 years, long before any known civilization possessed the means to explore or map such a remote region. The most shocking fact is, even with modern technology, charting Antarctica's subglacial topography is a monumental task. How could a map from the 1600s show such detail, let alone a landmass that was then, and for millennia prior, completely covered by an ice sheet several thousand feet thick? The thing nobody tells you is that this map clearly suggests the existence of source maps created by an unknown, highly advanced people at a time when Earth's climate was vastly different. The Orontius Phineus map adds another layer to this incredible mystery. It also portrays Antarctica not as a speculative icy wasteland, but as a continent with accurate coastal features, mountains, and rivers. Again, this points to an era when ice sheets were significantly smaller, allowing for such detailed observation. Modern seismographic surveys have only recently confirmed many of the subglacial features shown on this ancient map. The sheer scale of the undertaking required to produce such a map, exploring, surveying, and accurately charting an entire continent like Antarctica, would demand resources and technological capabilities far beyond what we typically attribute to societies of the last several thousand years. This isn't just a slight deviation, we're talking about a difference of 10,000 years or more in our understanding of geographical knowledge. The implications ripple through everything we think we know about history. If these maps are indeed accurate representations of a pre-Ice Age Earth, it suggests a global civilization with advanced navigational and cartographic techniques. This isn't just about knowing what the world looked like, it's about the ability to travel vast distances, to survey immense land masses, and to process complex geographical data. Such skills would require sophisticated mathematics, astronomy for accurate positioning, and seafaring vessels capable of traversing immense oceans. It challenges the very idea of linear human progress, forcing us to consider that perhaps a magnificent chapter of human history has been lost, buried beneath the ice and the sands of time. The next chapter will delve deeper into the astonishing precision of these maps and the technology that must have created them. Navigating the ancient world. The precision found in these ancient world maps isn't just a matter of rough outlines, it's about incredible detail that points to advanced surveying methods. Take, for example, the concept of geodesy, the science of measuring and representing the Earth's geometric shape, orientation in space, and gravity field. This is a complex field requiring sophisticated mathematical understanding and precise instruments. For a map to accurately depict coastlines, longitudes, and latitudes, it demands more than just basic observation. It requires a global framework of measurements. What many overlooked is that some of these ancient charts seem to incorporate an understanding of Earth's spherical nature and even account for its curvature long before such concepts were widely accepted in historical narratives. Consider the notion of projection, the method of representing the three-dimensional surface of Earth on a two-dimensional plane. Different projections distort the world in different ways, and it takes immense mathematical skill to choose and implement a projection that minimizes distortion in specific areas. The Piri Reis and Orontes Phineas maps utilize projections that, to modern cartographers, are eerily advanced. They seem to use a form of equidistant projection, where distances from a central point are accurate, or even a form of polar projection, accurately showing Antarctica from a bird's-eye view. This isn't guesswork. It's applied mathematics on a grand scale. The scale of error in these maps, especially for regions like the Amazon River and various islands in the Atlantic, is remarkably small, sometimes within a few dozen miles, a feat that would challenge navigators even into the 1800s. And it's not just the land masses, the depths of the oceans also seem to play a role. Hancock and others suggest that the features shown might relate to bathymetric charts, maps of the ocean floor. While not explicitly ocean depths on the surface of these particular maps, the accurate depiction of continental shelves and submerged land bridges, like the one that once connected Siberia to Alaska, speaks volumes. For example, the Bering Land Bridge, which stretched for hundreds of miles, allowed early humans to migrate into the Americas. These maps show coastlines consistent with a lower sea level during the last glacial maximum, when roughly 44 million cubic miles of water were locked up in immense ice sheets, causing global sea levels to drop by approximately 400 feet. This detail is crucial. It strongly indicates that the original data sources for these maps predated the end of the last ice age, which occurred around 12,000 to 10,000 years ago. The precise angles and relative positions of continents and islands on these maps suggest the use of triangulation or similar sophisticated surveying techniques. To achieve global accuracy, these ancient surveyors would have needed to establish fixed points and measure angles over vast distances, potentially using early forms of astrolabes or other instruments to determine latitude by observing stars. The coordination required for such a global effort would necessitate a highly organized society capable of communication, travel, and scientific endeavor on a scale we typically associate with much later historical periods. It makes you wonder, if this level of knowledge existed, what else did they know? The thing nobody tells you is that these maps aren't just isolated anomalies. There are other ancient artifacts and texts that hint at a broader, sophisticated understanding of the world. For instance, the Babylonian star charts, which are thousands of years old, show astronomical observations with startling precision, capable of predicting planetary movements and eclipses. While not directly cartographic, they demonstrate a mastery of mathematics and observation that could easily be applied to surveying and navigation. You can see this everywhere, from ancient megalithic sites aligned to celestial events to incredibly complex astronomical calendars found in various cultures worldwide. The idea of a forgotten, scientifically astute global culture gains strength when you connect these dots. This pushes the urgent question: how did they do it, and what catastrophic event erased their legacy? The Great Cataclysm. If a highly advanced global civilization indeed flourished during the last ice age, possessing the ability to map the world with such incredible precision, then where did it go? The disappearance of such a culture isn't just a mystery, it points to a catastrophic event of immense proportions. Graham Hancock proposes that a massive cosmic impact, or a series of impacts, around 12,000 to 10,000 years ago during a period known as the Younger Dryas, was the likely culprit. This wasn't just a bad storm, it was an event that fundamentally reshaped our planet, wiping out not only immense populations of megafauna, but potentially an entire epoch of human civilization. The Younger Dryas period, lasting roughly 1,200 years, saw a sudden return to glacial conditions after a warming trend. This was a brutal, rapid cooling, not a gradual shift. Geological evidence points to a cataclysmic event with widespread burning of forests across North America, a massive 597 quadrillion tons of ice suddenly melting from the North American ice sheet, and a sudden rise in global sea levels by hundreds of feet in a relatively short period. Imagine the scale of destruction. Colossal tsunamis, perhaps thousands of feet high, sweeping across continents, incinerating everything in their path. The most shocking fact is these events align precisely with the time frame suggested by the maps showing ice-free Antarctica and lower sea levels. Hancock and others argue that a comet or asteroid impact, breaking up and scattering debris across the planet, would explain such widespread devastation. Such an impact event would unleash unimaginable energy, far exceeding any nuclear detonation. It would trigger intense earthquakes, widespread fires, and crucially rapid climate shifts due to dust blocking the sun and massive amounts of fresh water being released into the oceans. This cosmic winter scenario aligns with archaeological findings of sudden cultural collapses and the abrupt end of many hunter-gatherer societies across the globe. But not all things are what they seem. While mainstream science acknowledges the Younger Dryas as a real climatic event, the idea of a cosmic impact in a lost advanced civilization remains highly controversial. The thing nobody tells you is that the evidence for such an impact is growing. Scientists have found layers of nanodiamonds, tiny diamonds formed under extreme pressure and temperature in Younger Dryas boundary layers across multiple continents. These are often associated with cosmic impacts. There's also evidence of microspherals and iridium anomalies, both indicators of extraterrestrial impacts. These geological signatures are like fingerprints left by a cosmic event, pointing to a single devastating moment in Earth's history. To put it mildly, the impact of such a cataclysm on any advanced society would be absolute. Infrastructure would be demolished, knowledge centers erased, and populations decimated. Survivors would be thrown back into a struggle for basic survival, their advanced skills and knowledge quickly forgotten or fragmented into myths and legends. This could explain why stories of a great global flood are found in cultures across the entire world, from the Sumerian epic of Gilgamesh to the biblical account of Noah and countless indigenous narratives. These aren't just coincidences, they might be distant, distorted memories of a shared traumatic past. The question then becomes, if remnants of their knowledge survived, where did they go? Submerged, ruins, and sacred sites. If an advanced civilization once thrived and then faced a cataclysm, it stands to reason that some of their structures, especially those near coasts at lower sea levels, might now be submerged. This is where the hunt for physical evidence truly deepens. Graham Hancock has tirelessly explored the world seeking out archaeological anomalies that defy conventional explanations. And you can see this everywhere if you look beyond the accepted narratives. Take, for example, the mysterious structures found off the coast of Yonaguni, Japan. Divers have uncovered massive stone formations, some appearing to be stepped pyramids, terraces, and carved features lying at depths of around 80 feet. Geologists estimate these structures would have been above water roughly 10,000 years ago, aligning perfectly with the end of the last ice age and the proposed timeline of the lost civilization. While some argue these are natural formations, the geometric precision, 90-degree angles, and carved elements are striking, making a compelling case for human intervention. The most shocking fact is that one massive block features a perfectly carved, 200-foot-long groove, a detail incredibly difficult to explain by natural erosion alone. Then there's the equally intriguing case of Bimini Road in the Bahamas. Just below the clear waters, a perfectly straight half-mile-long formation of massive limestone blocks, some weighing several tons, lies submerged. It appears to be an ancient road or wall, leading some to connect it with the legendary lost city of Atlantis. While scientific consensus leans towards natural formation, the sheer linearity and uniform size of the blocks make many people crazy about the idea of an artificial origin. What many overlooked is that the blocks show signs of being cut and fitted, a complex process for any civilization, let alone one that would have built it thousands of years ago when the sea level was lower. These underwater anomalies are not isolated incidents. There are countless reports globally of submerged ruins, megalithic structures, and unusual formations found off coastlines worldwide. From the Gulf of Cambay in India, where sonar scans revealed geometric structures at depths of over 100 feet, to ancient port cities now lying miles offshore, the evidence keeps piling up. The real-world map shatters our historical comfort. What if ancient global catastrophes are a forgotten cycle and we're just rediscovering truths suppressed for millennia? Like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below.